The National Governors Association meeting bringing some big names to Providence today. The meeting at the Convention Center featuring two keynote speeches by Vice President Mike Pence and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
This major event is set to last until tomorrow night, and we have team coverage of the National Governors Association meeting. Eyewitness News reporter Kim Kalunian has more on some of the protests that took place today.
But first, let's get right to Eyewitness News reporter Jared Pliner with more on day two. Jared?
Well, the Vice President and the Canadian Prime Minister came with goals and work to do. One, to talk up health care legislation, especially to Republican governors who might not be on board. The other came to talk about Canadian trade relations as the White House looks to renegotiate a trade agreement. Governor Gina Raimondo welcoming Vice President Mike Pence and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to the National Governors Association meeting in Rhode Island. Pence conveying best wishes from President Trump as he returns from France.
I bring greetings today from my friend, a champion of federalism who is fighting every single day to restore power to the states and to the people.
Pence's mission at the meeting to sell the Senate's newest health care overhaul and to allay governors' fears about proposed cuts to Obamacare's Medicaid expansion.
President Trump and I believe the Senate health care bill strengthens and secures Medicaid for the neediest in our society.
The vice president said the legislation gives states the ability to tailor the program to their needs.
The Senate health care bill creates a stability fund that states can use to help people obtain personal coverage as they transition out of the Medicaid expansion.
Trudeau, who met privately with Governor Raimondo before his remarks, made his emphasis the success of U.S.-Canadian trade as the Trump administration pushes to renegotiate the North American Free Trade Agreement.
Canada is the U.S.'s biggest, best customer by far. We're a bigger customer than China by roughly $152 billion, bigger than Japan or the UK. No one else even comes close. NAFTA isn't perfect. No such agreement ever is. We think it should be updated and modernized as it has been a dozen times over the past quarter century.
And GOP governors John Kasich, Brian Sandoval, and Charlie Baker have previously expressed concerns about the Medicaid cuts. Today, Governor John Kasich of Ohio renewed those concerns, saying the cuts are too deep, and he called the Senate plan, the newest version, unacceptable. With the Providence Mobile Newsroom, Jared Pliner, Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Erica. Now at 6, our team coverage continues at the National Governors meeting right here in Rhode Island. Tonight, the governors will attend a special water fire after hearing from Vice President Mike Pence and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. And the speeches from both leaders also attracted a lot of protesters demonstrating against the Republican health care plan and NAFTA. New at 6, Eyewitness News reporter Kim Kalunian talked to state police about how they handled the protests. But first, let's go to Eyewitness News reporter Jared Pliner with an update on the day's events. Jared.
Well, Mike and Caroline, we just got out of an availability with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who was running about a half hour behind because he was in a meeting with Vice President Pence. U.S. and Canadian press, by the way, asking the Prime Minister questions in both English and in French. The Vice President's speech today mainly in defense of the Senate's new bill to overhaul Obamacare. The Prime Minister was asked to weigh in on the U.S. fight over health care and on the two countries' health care systems. We have his answer to that first, and then Trudeau was also asked about his sit-down today with Governor Gina Raimondo.
One of the things I said when I was last down in Washington and standing beside the president at the press conference is I don't think it's appropriate for one country to be lecturing another on how they should be governing themselves, and I'm going to stay consistent in that. Governor Raimondo is certainly very interested in innovation and drawing in investment into Rhode Island, particularly in startups and in the digital economy. We had a great conversation because that obviously is one of my priorities as well.
The Prime Minister really being a cheerleader in his remarks today for trade between the U.S. and Canada and the ongoing strong relationship. He talked about Canada being America's best customer. Nobody in the world coming anywhere close. And this meeting perhaps comes at an opportune time for Prime Minister Trudeau as talks to renegotiate NAFTA are set to get underway in mid-August with Canada and Mexico, of course, at the table.